here. There has been a moment that I feel like deserves while we're in the sphere of outside the top 100, and we'll get back to that shortly because we gotta get out of here in a little bit. But there has been a moment on the ATP tour that is getting some traction and reporting in sports news because a Brazilian by the name of Joao Lucas Reis da Silva broke a little ground in ATP tour tennis history, maybe possibly, because he posted he posted a happy birthday message to another male, and I don't believe that person's on the ATP tour. Correct me if I'm wrong, Clinton. I don't know if you know anything about this, but he basically just said, "Happy birthday, happy life, love you so much." And I don't think any ATP player has had a public display of affection in the LGBTQ community ever as like currently playing. Wow. So him doing that has caught a little attention to like, certain outlets and stuff like that.
That's surprising, honestly.
Are you sure? Because Nick and Tanasi have.
I mean, Grigor and Rublev. I mean, look at that.
After winning the Australian
Open. Hey, just to be clear, before I put my foot in my mouth, I am the queer guy in the conversation. These two gentlemen are allies, and they've
got matching tattoos too. It's a butterfly. I'm just saying.
I'm just
either they're part of Mariah Carey's fan club or.
I'm glad you guys can say that. I can't say that because they're like, you think you put everybody's gay. Well, I didn't say that. But people
I think for certain players there are definitely like
obvious
alarms.
Signs. Yeah. I mean, like that. You know what Quinta Brunson, I'm talking about, which is like people be gay. Like this. It's just people be gay. Like right. I don't know why that hasn't matriculated to the ATP tour, but maybe it will now because of this young man.
I don't think this investigation has gone well.
I forgot Felix did that.
Honestly, that's been the start of his decline. Ever since he said that in the press conference, the tennis guys.
Now we're putting two and two together.
It's just surprising because basketball players have come out.
But have they done it while in competition? Because that Joao guy, I'm sorry, I need to know his name better. Joao Lucas Reis da Silva. He has a mouthful of a name. But have those players that you met like in the other sports, have they been competitively playing?
Yeah, I mean, when they've announced they had been, I mean, not that they've lasted long after that, but there was a guy named Jason Collins in the NBA. He came out as gay soon thereafter, though. He retired, I think, a year after that. In the NFL, who was it? Gosh.
Does Michael Sam count?
Played at, yes, him. He was actually the SEC defensive player of the year in college. Got announced that he was gay. I don't think, did he get drafted in the 5th round or went undrafted? Went to a couple of camps, didn't get really picked up. So active is kind of a stretch. I mean, but when they announced they were active, I could put it that way.
There might have been somebody else too that saying that they were bisexual, because I think that's like percolating in my mind too. Sometimes
it's just strange that in tennis that wouldn't have happened yet, especially with it being tennis, and it's a worldwide sport, so it's not like it's just one country just having their own influence.
I think
but there's places in the world where it's accepted, and it's not like every place shuns it. So it's just surprising that it hasn't been one person that's kind of been out there, especially on the WTA. It's like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, the WTA, the founders basically of that whole organization have been queer allies. So,
and one of the greats, unfortunately, is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 18th time winner.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly. And Amelie Mauresmo. Back to Amelie Mauresmo. When she was playing, though, she was active. I know this is Amelie Mauresmo episode, but when she was active, she was very transparent and vocal about it. So it's just surprising, and that was like 15 years ago. So it's just surprising that it hasn't actually reached the ATP yet.
Hopefully this is a step in the right direction because, there are actual pride events at some of the tournaments, like all the Grand Slams, make sure that there's a day of pride visibility. So, I don't know if this guy is ready to kind of take on that, burden. I can't think of another word for it because it could be a burden, I could say. But I also think, speaking of players that might go into the top 100, he has work to do because I think he's around 300 or 400 in the world. But something like this, whether he was like dealing with not wanting to be public about it or not, he is going to get a certain amount of fan base now, simply because people like seeing representation, and it hasn't happened in this sector of sport, in tennis. So, he's at the challenger level now. Who knows? People might start showing up for his tournaments, and he might actually be one of those players. He's only 24 that like actually need some of that to elevate. Because some players feed off of crowd energy and stuff like that, and I can imagine it's hard to do if you're playing in Ecuador and there's 2 people in the stands. So more power to him. Joao, that was whether he knew it or not, that was pretty brave, and hopefully people in and around him on the tennis tour rally around him and make him feel safe, because that is a good thing.